Greetings and welcome to another building showcase. I am Darkling and this of course is Ark Survival Evolved. Today we'll be taking a look at my Ragnarok Waystation. Now if you haven't seen this before, it was included in Mazion's base invasion video. I'll put a link in the description below so you'll want to check that out. Otherwise stick around and hopefully you'll be inspired. So I'm starting this one on foot. This is the entrance for one of the sides of the Waystation. There is two on this particular side of the base, and I've used the behemoth hatch frames to restrict access onto the platform. I quite like using the behemoth hatch frames for entrances. I think it adds a nice little touch without having to have a massive gate that can spoil the look of a build. And this is the first instance where I've used the half floating pillars with the lighting. I'm really stoked with how these look. I used glass for the front of them, so it's kind of a cheaty float, but it definitely came out looking pretty good. So we'll head on into their main Waystation. Now this is a Waystation because this is a teleport area. So there's a teleporter at the bottom and at the top, and the reason I wanted to show this place off is this is my wall sampler. So if you look around, it's all the different wall styles that I've designed. I was trying to come up with some ideas for what we could do with PVE building, because I was tired of plain walls. You may recognize some of this as it was in the intro segment. I thought it was definitely worthy of adding into that, so we'll have a quick run around here. So we've got the zigzag walls. We have the pillar, just basically tri-pillars. This is actually one of my favourite ones because they're separated out enough, nothing large can get through. It's high enough off the ground that little dinos generally don't make it through, and the shadow effect on it is amazing at night. And then we basically got a simple checkerboard. I don't really need to explain that, it's pretty straightforward. Of course I got one of my regular taming pens, 2 stories. I'll just run over it just to give you a closer look at this. So this is how I put together my diamond ones. I don't really have a name for it, a diamond wall, and that goes all the way around for this whole section, and another entrance into the Waystation here. And this is the first time I made a custom gate. This is using the force field walls. I really like these. They're great for making your own style of entrance. And this is a double layer. So if I stop halfway through, you'll actually see that there is a little bit of a gap. That's to make it sure that anything following you in will get stuck on the outer one. This is actually one of my favorite walls. I've done a really large wall of it, but it's a real FPS killer. There's too many lights in there. It's quite problematic. And my scrolled wall, this one turned out pretty good. I was quite happy with the way I managed to join the scrolls together. Again, I'll do a better close-up when we're in the air of that one. And then my diagonal sliced wall, again, not too great. I don't particularly like this this particular design, and I'll have to show you during the daytime. As you can see kind of now, because of the way the snapping works on the sloped pieces, they don't snap flush with each other, so you end up with a lot of texture that I'd rather have nice and flush. Something's running around out there, and then it goes back onto the zigzag. So this wall sampler is pretty straightforward. I do have a tutorial that covers how to make all of them, but I wanted to show them off my original design so you can have a look. this is kind of designed a bit like a base. It does have a few nooks and crannies for when I'm out and about. Just a little outpost section there. Obviously, if you were paying attention when I was around the taming pen, there was also a kitchen area. I'll just run over and show you that if you didn't see it. Down in that section there. Nice and simple. This is basically just for the taming pen. And I also added a little greenhouse off to one side. Again, nothing too special, but I'll show it off anyway. And then I'll show you a daytime shot of the area. Awesome. Apparently we can't get through here. One of the last updates must have added a rock back in. That's awesome. Goes through it. So we'll go down. We've got a side entrance for just regular foot access, and I added a giant greenhouse here. The floor was transparent, but with the glass reset from one of the S Plus patches a little while back, it reset it, and I haven't gotten around to fixing it. So basically all I wanted to do was build something on a river, with the river actually flowing through it, because it does look kind of cool. But yeah, this is pretty basic. It's nothing too flash. Not even like modelled or anything. So we'll have a zoom up into the air. You can see all the lighting is starting to turn off now. Be able to have a proper look. So this actually became a bit of a mini obelisk. It's a bit dark at the moment. Let's camera up a bit. So there's me standing in the middle at the top there. Again, this is on a non-dedicated host, so I have to actually have my regular character within render distance because I've got a tether on me at the moment. So if I actually turn the HUD on, you'll see I've got to keep within range. So I'll shoot down and I'll show you the scroll work. For some reason it's not letting me speed up while flying today. Oh, it's on Ghost, it's not GCN. I'll have creative mode for that. Okay, we'll show you these first. So this is the scroll work. Again, it's a lot like the scroll work in some of my other builds, but I actually joined it all together and it definitely added a nice look about it. I originally did this without the siding on it, so it didn't have the tri along the sides, and it didn't look very great. So I decided to go the whole hog and put the trimmings on the side and make it all nice and sculptural, and it came out a lot nicer. So I'm glad I eventually got around to doing that. And like I said, the diagonal slash one, I'm sure you'll be able to see a little bit clearer now that the way it snaps is pretty messy. Things don't quite snap the way I would have liked. It's not flush enough. There's big steps in the build that really shouldn't be there, but you've got to work with what you've got, and sometimes things don't work in Ark. You've just got to settle for what you've got. And I'll just take you a quick trip upwards. So what I did for this is I got to a point where I realized that what I was building was like a mini obelisk, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well make it look like one. So I've got a tech transmitter in the middle here. I brought it up so that the structure goes up the side and it has like grooves where the metal goes, and then every so often where the metal comes out you'll see into that groove. Yeah, I did it all the way up to the top and then obviously curved it out. Now I could have done what I did over there and added the trimmings on the side, but I didn't want to overdo that. It probably would have looked good. I've not actually done one in metal, but I didn't want to, like I said, overdo it. So that's kind of what the wall looked like before I added the trimmings on the side, and it's not terribly special. And if we look inside, this is basically just a hollow structure with the obviously the grooves added in, and I've obviously got my tech generator at the bottom there. There? No, that's just the transmitter. Tech Jenny must be at the top somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. And then on top, obviously, it's just a giant landing pad, mostly just for getting the Quetzal cage around the map quicker, because there's nothing worse than going out to get a Quetzal and having to fly there really slowly. On a whole, this is probably one of my more favourite build areas, mostly because of the sampler nature of this. Because I gotta say, it does look good. And there's probably people out there that don't like it, but it doesn't matter because I do. It looks great, and at night time, it just looks amazing when everything's lit up. And I really like like I said, these walls here, just the tri-pillars. Let's just set time of day. And you'll see it start lighting up. Oh, a few more. There we go. So as you can see from above, things look really good. Around the whole thing it looks good though. I'm really proud of this particular setup. I don't know why. it's using pretty basic designs, but sometimes a build just makes me smile and that's enough. If I enjoy it, then it doesn't matter what other people think of it. I hope you enjoyed having a look around the Waystation. It's definitely one of my favourite areas to muck around in. If you haven't seen the Mazion tours, I'll put a link in the description for both of those. Definitely check them out. We'll be able to see it in his quality, which is much nicer than mine. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, take care and enjoy your building.